Daily gambling game show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now.
So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Subject custom chemicals about the concept fairly known. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben.
Hey, happy weekend. Happy Saturday. Happy me if I can get this tweeted out. And I did. And happy you if you've been betting with WannaBet. If you have been a part of our community here and you have been tailing us and our guest with any regularity, then guess what? You've been cashing because we've been cashing. And you are part of us. And our goal on the only daily sports wagering game show that I know of is to continue to cash for the viewer, to put our handicapping efforts to work for this community to beat the books. And Beltway Ben, we are coming up on 2 months of doing this show. And with great consistency, we have been beating the books. Some weird stuff happened last night, but it didn't slow us down. It didn't slow us down. Air quality control issues in Saskatchewan delayed that kick till 4, but we're still on the Rough Riders to take care of that 3.5 against the Calgary Stampeders. Beltway Ben, great night for him in MLB. We love that Pirates Twins game. Guess what? I'm going to be on that series through the weekend. I've made plays in that series through the weekend. I will continue to give you plays on that series through the weekend. If you're with us on our Discord, and you can find out how to join right in my bio on Twitter or right in Ben's, we continue to crush it there. I'm 17-3-1 in my last 21 one-unit game plays there, non-player props. And I don't do a ton of player props, and Ben's got us covered in that regard anyway. So, Beltway Ben, how are we feeling heading into this Saturday slate of games?
Yeah, feel pretty good. Last night, I was between Rooker and Andahar. Of course, I ended up going with Andahar just because it was my gut. And again, Rooker was a little bit more juice. Andahar makes it, and he had the perfect opportunity, had a guy in scoring position, 2 outs. But I was happy, I will say before we get to Saturday, I was very happy that after the 4th inning, things picked up. Because on the Discord, we gave out the over. And I'm like, are we seeing, 2014 Scherzer? Like, what is going on right now?
Yeah.
And the Blue Jays finally kind of exploded off of Severino. And then Scherzer got hit a little bit. And then Jeff Hoffman has done what he's done for a good portion of this year. And he almost walked them out of that game and given up the long ball like he has. So was happy that we got that there. But I'll start in first down here. I'm going to go to the WNBA today. We got just 2 games. I'm going to go with Kayla McBride over 12.5 points at -125. She's under this in 5 straight games. So we're getting a chance to buy low.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, she averaged about 15.1 points per game. And she was clearing this pretty regularly early in the season. But all of a sudden, she hasn't been playing well. In the under 5 straight, she hasn't really been close in many. The one where she did come close was against Chicago, who they're playing today, where she had 11 points, 4 for 13 from the field. The shots were there, and they were clean looks. It wasn't like she was forcing things up with hands in her face. No, she had clean looks. She was just not shooting the ball well, which has really carried all this month, right? She's shooting 25% from beyond the arc in July. That is, at 32 shots overall, 6.4 per game. So she's getting opportunities. And when you look at this matchup here with the Sky, opponents are knocking down 10 3-pointers a game against the Sky, most in the WNBA. And it's also at a 37.5% clip. I've talked about it on this show time and time again. Guards can shoot the ball really, really well against the Sky team because they struggle on the perimeter. They're good inside defensively, but on the perimeter, they have some issues. So I do like Kayla McBride to go over 12.5 points and finally get out of that slump that the Lynx need, even though they still do have the best record in the WNBA.
Beltway Ben is our WNBA expert. You should definitely be tailing him. Hey, before I give up my first bet of the day, just want to make sure anybody new to the show, first down, second down, third down, that is our favorite plays of the day in order. Third down's the money down in the NFL. Third down, we want them all to be money downs for you, but third down, we especially want to cash for you guys. 4th and long, we look at different long shot bets. We look at bets that won't pay off for a long time, like futures. And we also do a new segment there, 4th and long or short. And today we will be looking again at propositions to cash for you immediately within the first 3 innings of games, maybe the first inning of games, within the first 30 minutes of soccer matches. Beltway Ben crushed a Nerfy plus money parlay for you guys last night. He mentioned that game that we were on, the over 10.5 in the Jays against the A's. Yeah, my first inning didn't crack, but if you watch that game, everything was 107 off the bat. It was just right at people, unfortunately. Severino wanted to give it up in the first inning. Well, got in the way. So, and then overtime today, we will be playing man against machine. Our friends at Pine Sports AI have an amazing AI wagering research tool called Jackson. Jackson will give you his best bets on anything you ask him. We don't always agree with Jackson. Today, we will play man against the machine against Jackson in overtime. But first down for me, I'm staying on a series where I've been hammering already. They will not give us Beltway Ben plus 118 for the Brewers on the run line today. I wish they would, but I'll take that minus 115. It's not Mitchell Parker on the mound for the Nats today. It's this Japanese kid who was getting destroyed in AAA, who looked completely overwhelmed in his first major league start that I watched. And he's going against a Brewers offense that struggled at home for most of the year, but it's been potent lately. And the Brewers are locked in. And look, I'm going to admit, I faded Brandon Woodruff in his first game back because that's just something I do. Even quality pitchers, when they've missed that much time, I will tend to fade them in their first start. Well, guess what? Woodruff came out and was getting swing and miss with multiple pitches. Woodruff looked like the Woodruff Cy Young caliber Woodruff of old. And this is a Nats team that people say, oh, well, their splits are better on the road than at home. Well, they've also won like only 5 of their last 21 games on the road. And there's some dudes who look to be having their eye on the All-Star break or James Wood, the home run derby. And I love the Brewers in this spot. Like the Brewers have won 8 in a row. The Brewers didn't have to use their pen at all yesterday. DL Hall's the opener, and then Quinn Priester goes the other 6 innings. So their bullpen is loaded. The Nats have the worst bullpen in baseball. The Brewers are 8-1 on the run line in their last 9 at home. They've won 11 of their last 14 at home. It's a pitching mismatch. I don't want to drill down on the first 5, though, because I want to beat up on that Nats bullpen as well. I know the Brewers aren't going to get probably a chance to bat in the 9th, but I like what I'm seeing from them lately. Second down, Beltway Ben.
Yeah, and talked about it. I'll get to that game in a little bit longer. But Ogasawara, it's his first road start, so he wasn't good at home. I can't expect him to be good on the road. But now for second down, we will go to the MLB. Going to go with the Orioles over 3.5 runs scored in the first 7 innings at minus 140. Now, the Orioles have had struggles all season. We know that, but not at home lately against right-handed pitching, hitting-wise. Right, and definitely not lately. Since June 1st, the Orioles have a 854 OPS against right-handed pitching at Camden Yards. Wow. Third highest in the MLB. Jansen Junk's on the mound. He's got a 4.07 ERA on the road compared to 1.89 on the home. He was a long relief guy before being moved into the rotation. And he's not a strikeout guy. He stays in the zone. All of his underlying metrics tell you that this guy is going to start getting shelled. There are a number of pitchers in that rotation I'm looking at right now buying and saying, these guys are legit. He is not one.
No.
I just don't see him continuing this. Expecting batting average is 288 against him. It's the 8th percentile. And you look at this Orioles lineup, right? Gunnar Henderson, Ryan O'Hearn, Jackson Holliday. Those are the lefties. Those are their dominant lefties. Then you go to the righties. Laureano, he's got a 935 OPS against right-handed pitching. Jordan Westberg, he's got an 851 OPS against right-handed pitching. Their 2 best right-handed bats are reverse splits guys. So the Orioles lineup should be able to get to Junk today. I don't think he's going to be good on the road. And his one road start that, really, really went south. He didn't even get out of the 3rd inning. And we're going to get back to this on man versus machine. But just for now, right here, this is on DraftKings, the first 7 innings over team total for the Orioles.
Yeah, the Orioles lineup lately looks as connected and selfless as we've seen in a long time. They're regressing to the mean positively after, obviously, a horrendous start to the season. Second down, we're going back to the women's Euros. And look, I love betting soccer international tournaments because the situation sort of bakes certain things into the cake. And like we can go back to that Iceland-Norway situation where neither team really had anything on the line, but Iceland really had to score. And Norway, playing a bunch of backups because they had already won the group, were probably going to concede. So you could see many scenarios where both teams score. I love this match here because both teams know they're going through, but both want to do damage long-term in the tournament. They want to send a message to the other, but they can play loosey-goosey with nothing to lose. They yes, goal differential could decide who's first and who's second in the group, but they know they're going to the knockout stage. They're two of the better women's teams traditionally on the planet. They haven't met that much internationally, but both are in impeccable form right now scoring goals. Germany's won 6 straight matches. They've scored in all 6 matches. Beltway Ben, 24 goals produced in those 6 matches. That's, in soccer terms, that's ridiculous. Okay, and these matches are Nations League and Women's Euros, those are competitive matches. They aren't throwaway friendlies against Zimbabwe. How about Sweden? They've scored in 5 of their last 6 matches. They've produced 13 goals in those 6 matches. And again, if you've watched this tournament at all, things get crazy after the 85th minute. We've seen 90th minute, multiple 90th minute plus penalties awarded. Yesterday, if you were like us I was all over the Belgium-Portugal game. We didn't talk about it here, but I played it. I gave it out on the Discord. I mean, there could have been 5 goals scored in that game. We ended up going over the 2.5, but this tournament has been bonkers, and especially in these scenarios where the ladies can just sort of cut loose and play attacking football and not have to worry about holding the line for some 0-0 result. I just love this scenario for 2 teams that are loaded with attacking players. Would not surprise me at all if you're looking for a bomber. Maybe they both score twice. Third down, Ben.
Yeah, third down, we're going to go back to the MLB, and I told you we would get back to that Nats game. Here we are here, and we're going to go with Jackson Chourio over 1.5 total bases. Really, really like this prop today. 292, 333, 604 slash line at home against left-handed pitching. Righties, right-handed hitters were 6 for 11 against Ogasawara in his MLB debut. In the minors, righties were hitting 311 against him. This was AAA, and even a few stints before that, they were at AA and high A, I believe. But his first road start in the MLB, as I talked about before. And then you look at Jackson Chourio and what he's done in the month of July. 12 for 42, comes into this game on a 9-game hit streak. He's hitting towards the top of the lineup. Always love that for a total bases or a hitting prop, especially when a team's at home, because you might not get that 9th inning. And guessing today for this matchup, we probably won't. But we still could get the 5 at-bats if they hit Ogasawara the way we think that they will. So I like him over 1.5 total bases.
Yeah, I'm rooting, as you guys know, for a lot of fireworks. Yeah, let's go crazy with the sausage in Milwaukee. Third down for me, we are going out to San Diego, and I like the Phillies on the money line here. We were on this series a lot a week ago when the Phillies were hosting the Padres. How did that go for Zach Wheeler? Maybe the best pitcher on the planet right now. 8 innings pitched in that little bandbox there in Philadelphia against the Swinging Friars. He did not allow an earned run. The Phillies have won 10 of Wheeler's last 12 starts. The Padres won last night, but another low-scoring game. Beltway Ben, the Padres have scored 32 runs in their last 12 games. That's obviously problematic. Darvish was not great his first time out, and just like I told you, I faded Woodruff. I faded Darvish in his first game back after a long absence. He went 3 2/3. He gave up 3 hits. He gave up 3 walks. Could he be a little better today? Yeah. And is the Phillies lineup as good as a lot of people thought it was going to be at the beginning of the year? No, but they have cash for you when Wheeler's been on the mound. I mean, look, I'll tell you another play I made on this game. Phillies money line, Wheeler 7+ strikeouts. That'll get you plus 200. So I would take a look at that. Wheeler's consistently been hitting his strikeout props. It's over 6.5. So again, 7+. You can get some plus money on that by itself. But I like the Phillies, who have won 8 of their last 11 games against the Padres and 8 of the last 11 in San Diego. Okay, 4th and long or short. And today we are going back to what I was telling you guys about earlier in the show. We want to also come up with some bets for you where you don't have to stay up late. You don't have to sweat the whole game. You don't even have to sweat the first half of the game or the first 5 innings of the game. Maybe it's just the first inning. Beltway Ben, you cashed a great parlay yesterday. What are you playing today in 4th and long or short?
Yeah, well, we did cash the parlay yesterday, and this one is you got to watch a few innings here, but we're just going to go with the first 3 innings. And again, this is something that could cash in the first inning. But I just like the first three to be a little safe here, over 1.5 for the Cincinnati Reds at -140. I just think over in 2 of their last 3. They were held under this in game 1 of the series. You can't do that twice to the Colorado Rockies.
No.
And Blaylock is going to start for the Rockies. In his last 13 innings pitched, he's given up 21 earned runs. He's been hit hard every time he's caught up in the big leagues last year and this season. They traded him, got him in that trade with Milwaukee for that Nick Mears deal, who is in that bullpen. But I do think the Reds have that offense. And you look through this, at the minimum, you get 9 batters. Of course, we wouldn't cash if that's the case. They're going to have multiple base hits. 1 through 3 will get 2 at-bats in these first 3 innings. I'm fully confident of that. So I do like this over 1.5 runs in the first 3 innings for the Cincinnati Reds today.
Yeah, no, and I love it in that ballpark. And I've got a play on this game that's correlated to that you can find if you're on the Super Discord. I am going to take a page out of your playbook from yesterday, Beltway Ben, and do a Nerfy parlay. And one of them seems obvious and maybe the other one doesn't. So Rays, Red Sox, Shane Baz against Garrett Crochet. Kind of sort of enough said there, right? Shane Baz in the first inning this year has an ERA of 1. Now, Crochet has an ERA of 2.37, which is great, but not otherworldly. However, I would point out that Tampa Bay this season on the road has scored 12 runs total in the first inning. That's the least in the major leagues. And I think Baz comes out with his swing and miss stuff. And yes, the Red Sox are hitting the ball right now. But again, he's got a 1 ERA in the first inning. Pittsburgh and Minnesota, we've been fading Pittsburgh in a bunch of different ways on the road throughout this show in its brief history. I said the Rays have scored 12 runs on the road all season, right, in the first inning. Pittsburgh scored 14, third fewest in Major League Baseball. Pittsburgh's lineup scuffling right now. This isn't the greatest pitching matchup in the history of the world. I get that. But I don't think the Pirates are scoring on anybody, even with the Twins kind of looking at an opener here. Burrow's on the mound for the Pirates. Like, I'm not going to lie, it gives me a little bit of pause here. That's why we're able to get this at plus 218. Can he keep Buxton and those guys down to start the game? I have a wager here that he will. Minnesota's been a league average team scoring in the first inning at home all season long. So that's where we are. Would love to cash that one for myself and for our community here at Wanna Bet. Brings us to overtime. As we said, we have some friends over at Pine Sports AI who have created a wagering tool that Ben and I use to help with our research as we drill down every day and figure out the plays we like the most. That tool is called Jackson. There's 3 tiers to Jackson. Ben and I use the highest tier. That gives us the access to pretty much all the data that Pine Sports AI has called together. There's other tiers that are less expensive. Whatever tier you want, you can get 25% off by going to Pine Sports AI. You can find them right on Twitter or socials or whatever, and using the promo code WB25. And in this segment, Man vs. Machine, Beltway Ben and I find bets that we've played that Jackson disagrees on, that frankly Jackson would go the other way on. We did this last weekend. Jackson beat me barely. Beltway Ben beat Jackson. Beltway Ben, where are you battling the machine today?
Yeah, I talked about it before, and it's a similar play to my Orioles first 7 team total. I'm going to go with Jansen Junk over 2.5 earned runs at -135. And, Jackson likes the under just because of how good he has been this season.
Yes.
But as I talked about, the underlying metrics, is a guy who's going to start getting hit around. The expecting batting average, 288. As I said before, it's the 8th percentile. He does not throw hard. He does not get a lot of swing and miss. It's a lot of hard hit balls that result in outs. I think the Orioles at home will take care of him and get him out before the 5th inning, quite honestly. I was looking at that prop. But sometimes bad teams, and the Marlins have been better, don't get me wrong, but their bullpen isn't top tier. Sometimes bad teams, if their starter's getting hit pretty hard, they want him to last in that game. So I stayed away from the outs, and I'm just going with the earned runs. I'm going to go with over 2.5.
It's hard to say Jansen Junk without laughing. Jansen Junk has thrown junk most of his career. Look, he's been better here. That's why Jackson likes him. But remember, Cabrera had to leave that game yesterday earlier than they would probably try to get at least one more inning at him or a few more outs. He had some sort of injury develop, so they had to go to their pen a little bit more than they probably thought. And they had to go to their pen quite a bit at the tail end of that series in Cincinnati. So if you do get into some of the underbelly of that pen, it could help you. Look, Jackson is on the Dodgers. Jackson will tell you a lot of smart money's on the Dodgers. Jackson likes the fact that Ohtani's on the bump today for the Dodgers. Excuse me. And I think Jackson believes, and so much as a computer can believe anything, that the Dodgers are due because they've lost 7 in a row. But I don't know, Beltway Ben. I've been fading them with Ohtani on the mound because Ohtani at best is going to give you 9 outs, right? He's yet to go past the second inning. He's gone 2 in the last 2 outings. They've lost both of those games, by the way. And in Ohtani's 4 starts, the Dodgers have allowed 25 runs because their bullpen's not very good, and this puts a lot of stress on their bullpen. Maybe Ohtani goes more than 2 innings today. I don't think it's going to be much more than 2 innings. But the Dodgers are limping into the break right now. Like, Tommy Edman's not winning games for them anymore. Like, Pages and Teoscar Hernandez, who carried him earlier in the year, Teoscar's got a 650 OPS his last 15 games. Pages is a 585. Beltway Ben, Freddie Freeman's batting below 200 since June 1st. And look, Rope's been good for the Giants. He's got a 1.85 ERA at home. The Giants have won 5 of his last 6 starts, and the Giants have won 7 of 9 overall. The lineup looks better than it has in a long time. They're playing with a lot of confidence, and they're having fun beat up on the Dodgers. So for plus 120, I am on Los Gigantes de San Francisco. I think they win this ball game, Beltway Ben, and I think they beat up on some Dodgers arms who are probably going to be asked to do maybe more than they should.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think the Giants are going to start turning things around, and I gave them out a while ago to make the playoffs. They're going to be buyers at the deadline too, and
yes,
would be nice to take a few from the Dodgers who aren't playing very good baseball.
Yes, Devers is getting settled in there. Willie Adames has had a lot of pressure off of him since Devers got there. Now he's starting to produce. So, yes, that's where we are. Beltway Ben, I'm going to put you on the spot again. Before we get out of here, could you show the people our bet slip? So there you go. That was last night. The night before, Beltway Ben and I were 6-0. We continue to work hard to do what we can to find edges and ways to make you guys money. That record on the bottom is all of our official plays since we launched this thing. Our first show, I think, was May 21st with my friend Katie Mox. We'll get Katie back on here soon. We will be back tomorrow. Yeah, we're going all weekend long. If we're betting it, then we're going to tell you about it on WannaBet. You're going to see it in real time as we bet it on our super Discord. And we hope you tune in around noon Eastern tomorrow as we break down the Sunday slate on WannaBet.